Cases continue to explode in Italy and in South Korea. It looks like we've reached a tipping point of awareness. And some countries probably fibbing about their numbers. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Martinson. I'm here today on February 24th, 2020 with your COVID-19 update, your coronavirus update. I'm titling this one, Are You Prepared? Let's go to the numbers. Again, we got numbers from China. Yep, that's about all we got. We don't know what they really mean, and China is doing everything it can to put a good face in this and show that they are past this particular coronavirus incident as best they can. They want people to get back to work. We're going to talk about that because it's really important. A lot of countries are going to have to make that same decision soon. It's not an easy one, but South Korea, wow, vaulting right up here, 231 new cases. Notice here 8 total deaths, and this comes into play when we look at where we are in Iran with 12 total deaths. There is just no way that Iran with 12 deaths has only 47 cases. And there's a bit of a kerfuffle in Iran about how many cases they have, how many deaths they have. The deaths may be as high as 50. We don't know. But they're also reporting nobody serious. So these numbers, completely suspect and absolutely not correct at this point in time. Everything's higher. And that much we can say for sure, but we don't know how much. The disaster princess, this is pretty much over now. Everybody's been sort of taken off and repatriated. The total cases got logged on there. It's going to be stuck there for a while, but we are seeing in the United States, these plus 18 that showed up in the United States were people who were flown back and got infected on the plane ride back, or were just asymptomatic and arrived and became symptomatic. But one way or the other, they showed up and became infected here in the United States. Italy. Another 66 cases coming to 223. More deaths again of elderly people mainly. Total deaths now 6. And I think that's actually come up since we've seen that. But look at this one. This Thailand still at 35. These numbers have just been frozen in ice for a week or more now. I don't believe these, not for a second. And I don't believe these Vietnam numbers either, sharing that huge border with China, knowing that they had put a 10,000 person community into quarantine. Not a peep since. I'm not buying any of it. In fact, here, you have to read through and look at your clues. The UAE banned citizens traveling to Iran and Thailand to prevent the spread of coronavirus. The foreign ministry says, why Thailand? I thought we just said Thailand doesn't have a problem. They haven't had a new case reported in weeks. But here you have a country saying, and a pretty sophisticated country saying, you know what, don't go to Iran where we know there's a raging outbreak, or Thailand. So I'm going to take my clues from that and say Thailand's just not being on the up and up about their particular case set. Italy, look at this case progression. Day by day, one day later, well, that's a 5-fold increase. That's about a 3-fold increase that next day. Here, at least a little bit more than a 2x increase. Probably aiming for a 2x increase today. The day is still in progress. Italy's working very hard to get these numbers under control and put full containment in. And they've got a good medical system, so I would not be surprised if they get their arms around this. But it just shows how explosively virulent and this particular coronavirus actually is. And yeah, here, Italy reports another death from coronavirus, raising the toll to 7. The latest patient, 62, kind of on the young side for deaths. So it just, whatever marched into Italy, and I would love to see that it's been sequenced and it's exactly the same thing as the strains that were in China, because this all feels just a little bit more virulent than I would have expected. Or China's really downplayed their results more than I thought. In Iran now has shut schools, it's shut universities, cultural centers, all kinds of things, all within a fairly substantial region inside of Iran. Again, this does not comport well with the idea that they have just a handful of cases. That doesn't fit at all. And Iran is now denying that it's covered up 6 deaths as reported. Denies a cover-up as 6 deaths are reported in Italy. Tehran rejects the claim that the death toll is more than 4 times higher than official figures suggest. It could be 4, it could be 12. We don't really know. But this is just another country that prefers to be less than forthcoming with the data. I don't know, because it's embarrassing, because they don't want to scare their people, because it's, I don't know what. But there are countries that take that route, and then there are countries like South Korea that go the other direction and are very, very open, very transparent about what they're up to. So as we saw yesterday, we had all these cases exploding out, and now, this is where we were, February 23rd. 22nd at 436 cases, and now in Korea, well over 800 here. So that's just gone really out of control there. And good luck to South Korea getting their arms around that. In the United States, so the CDC reportedly opposed the State Department's decision to allow 14 individuals who were confirmed to be infected to travel on the evac flight after their cases were confirmed just before takeoff, thanks to one of the many botched drop-the-ball moments attributed to Japanese health officials, or bureaucrats in many cases. So whose lot of fingers being pointed here? Was it the Japanese health officials that botched this? Was it the State Department overriding the CDC? It was a State Department flight, so this is on the State Department. They made the decision, you know what, let's take everybody, let's put them on this plane. Somebody made that decision. I doubt it was the State Department. I bet somebody who made that decision has a name. That would be interesting to find out, I think. And this is exactly what they were warned about. In addition to the 14 people who were already infected, it appears another 25 were infected on the flight back, where sick individuals were separated by the rest using duct tape and a thin tarp-like sheet. I thought when they were going to evac those people that they had some kind of I thought it wasn't rinky-dink. I thought they would have had some sort of an isolation chamber in the back or some way of isolating those two cohorts of people, populations from each other, but apparently not. Apparently duct tape. I'm going to have to rethink my own preparations here because I have duct tape's part of mine, but I'm not trying to fly 14 infected people around with a whole plane load of other folks. So that's really not good news right